Donald Trump wanted American cities to be training grounds, and ICE listened. In Chicago, in the no matter the day of
amazing.
American cities are. So as forewarned, I mean, we have a situation in which American cities are at the center of this ICE crackdown, and there's indiscriminate use of force against Americans, non-Americans, people here legally, people here illegally. And on the right, nobody seems to care. In fact, they love it.
I saw a video from a local station in Chicago, and residents of a community there were describing an ICE raid and like what they saw. Two things struck me. One, they were talking about things that happened to them. They were talking about how they were treated in this ICE raid. These are the people that, I guess by virtue of being born here in America, are entitled to being treated like human beings. The second thing is that they were all black. And I'm gonna say something, we saw this coming. We knew the neighborhoods where these ICE raids would take place. We knew that a lot of these things wouldn't happen in Beverly Hills or in Coconut Grove or any of those places like that. We knew that there would be collateral damage, that there would be trauma that would be inflicted on our communities. We knew that people would be detained, scared. We knew that children would have to see things that they shouldn't have to see. And all of this for political theater so that we look tough on immigration for everyone. It's a horror show. And I do think if it hasn't already happened, that it'll be something that even the most conservative of Americans will get tired of seeing human beings treated this way. At least that's my.
You know what's so funny about him? I think that he could quite possibly be one of the worst commentators on CNN, bar none. One of the worst commentators, Van Lathan, could quite possibly be one of the worst pro-hate, racist black people that I've ever seen in my entire life. Now, ask yourself this question, but before you ask yourself the question, let me play for you the video of what actually happened. This was covered on News Nation several days ago.
Border Patrol officers conducted a military-style raid on an apartment building in the South Shore neighborhood. This is in the overnight hours, and they tell our sister station News Nation they arrested close to 30 people.
WGN's Julian Cruz reports from 75th and South Shore.
Good evening. Today's federal
Wound up actually being 37, but I'm going to add the context shortly.
multi-agency sting said to be the largest immigration operation that we have seen thus far locally under Operation Midway Blitz, but critics announcing what they say are the cruel and heartless immigration policies of the Trump administration.
This is a disturbing activity from the Trump administration.
State Senator Robert Peters and folks with the Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights sounding off on today's federal operation.
Literally, this is a working class community. People who are trying to get the valuable little amount of sleep that they're able to get before they have to either send their kids to school or they have to go to work.
They went through that structure, which is a very large structure. You can see it's 5 stories. They went through that structure a lot quicker than I thought, and several apprehensions.
Border Patrol Chief Greg Bovino in Chicago to oversee today's operation. Witnesses describing the tremendous show of force shortly after 1 o'clock this morning.
It looks like we have a couple of potential targets that we briefed earlier today that we were after.
But at least one local resident we talked to describing the federal operation captured on video by the Citizens app as overkill.
It's distressing. You know, this is supposed to be America. We're all supposed to have rights, and it look like our rights are just gone.
Ballard and countless others in this densely populated South Shore neighborhood jolted out of bed by the sounds of military helicopters.
I grew up on a military base, Air Force base, so I know the beat. And when I heard that heavy beat, I knew it was an assault helicopter.
This morning's raid said to have included Border Patrol agents, ICE, and ATF agents. The arrest team said to have received guidance from intelligence units.
My hope.
The one neighbor said the kids were crying. They looked very distraught. I was out there crying.
So just left out is that they were targeting Tren de Aragua. And so Tren de Aragua is a violent transnational gang. They send illegal immigrants.
I'm sorry, was I muted? All right, my bad. I was muted. Let me say that again. What I'm now going to play for you is Scott Jennings' response to this whole situation, okay? And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to give you my thoughts.
Aragua is a violent transnational gang. They send illegal immigrants here to the United States. They traffic drugs, they traffic people, they commit violence. They inflict misery everywhere they go. And 37 people were arrested. That was the purpose of the raid, the targeting of Tren de Aragua, some of the most violent people in our hemisphere. And when they come here, nothing good happens. That was
Now, before I continue to play this, that's what I said. That's what I had said, Chris Cunningham. I said that I'm going to play this response and then I'm going to give you all my thoughts, okay? I went through and I made some phone calls this weekend before I did a reaction video to this, okay? I went through and I made some phone calls. And I called my people over in Chicago, and I actually talked to a guy that lives maybe 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes away from there. And this is what they told me. They said, Anton, we have been complaining about these illegal migrants inside of this apartment building and taking over this apartment building. And allegedly, they weren't paying rent and they were terrorizing the people in the community and they were gang members. They said this is a predominantly black area and black neighborhood. And the problem that we had been complaining about was not only them being there, but we were calling our police department and it would fall on deaf ears because we never wanted them to be placed inside of our neighborhoods in the first place. They never wanted them to be in that neighborhood in the first place. And so instead of blaming ICE and Homeland Security and the FBI and Trump for getting them out, the question that we should be asking ourselves, and this isn't a Republican versus Democrat issue, even if you don't like me, if you hate my guts because you don't like the fact that I don't stand with the pro-blackity blacks, this is your opportunity to actually align with me because I'm not wrong on this. Ask yourself this question. Why are the people not holding Brandon Johnson, the mayor, and Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker and all of your aldermen and everybody that's in the police department, the police chief, why are y'all not holding them accountable for placing them inside of y'all neighborhoods in the first place? Why did y'all not hold them accountable? The people have been calling the police over and over and over and over and complaining both on social media. And guess what they did? They suppressed it because when we were having conversations about what was going on over in Denver, we never heard about these apartments. And so this was a pretty little secret. And it's a whole lot of pretty little secrets all over Chicago. All over Chicago, there was an infiltration of your mayors placing illegal migrants, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands in them, all over black neighborhoods. Do you want to know why there weren't ICE raids in the suburbs of these nice neighborhoods? You want to know why it's not ICE raids? Because that's not where they put them. They put them in your neighborhoods to go to school with your kids and to displace you, and they couldn't even speak English. So now, because whenever you go and you do this type of raid, I don't know if y'all was ever in a hood, but it's the raid van, they put everybody in a zip, and well, it used to be handcuffs. Now they've been nice to y'all. They put y'all in zip ties. They put, because they don't know who the threat is, right? So everything got to be secured. And so they put everybody in zip ties. They want to know what's going on. And then the black people, guess what? They were released. So what you seen was chaos over the weekend because it was a lot of content creators that were putting out misinformation, liberal people that were trying to create this narrative and saying that black people are being deported and arrested by ICE. The reality is that 37 illegal Tren de Aragua gang members were arrested in the south side of Chicago or in this apartment in Chicago, and the people are actually happy about it. because they never should have been there in the first place. They never should have been there in the first. And the people that are blackety black were popping up and was like, hey, man, listen, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. And y'all listen to these people that's not even from here. We've been complaining about what's been going on for a long time with that apartment building. And they stopped short of actually giving Trump credit, but they were saying that they happy that those people is up out of there. And so the question that you got to ask yourself is, why? Why are they continuing to protect people that are not supposed to be here in the United States of America in your neighborhood? I don't know if y'all know this or not, but this isn't for most people. When you think about Denver and Chicago and Los Angeles and New York and all of this stuff, this isn't a situation where you can just ignore it because it's right at your doorstep. So you say, Anton, don't talk about it. Well, you don't want me to advocate for what's best for Chicago? Why would you just want to continue to be in the presence of people that's not even supposed to be there, and they taking up all of your resources, all of your tax dollars? Funny, they couldn't find a dime to keep the schools open. They can't find a dime to make sure that the budget is plugged. They can't find a dime for a recreation center. They can't find a dime to make sure that they put more police officers on the street, but they found billions, and I mean billions of dollars to make sure that they staffed, housed, helped, let them sleep in a police station, and then put them right in your neighborhood. Right in your neighborhood. They put it right in your hood. And you know what you had to say? Nothing. You still voted for them. You still voted blue. Right after they put them, because they know that you a sucker. They know you weak. You a sucker. You ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't gonna do nothing. You sit here and you type in my chat all day long, and they putting people right in front of your face in your neighborhood that can't even speak English, and they running you out of your own hood. I'm the problem? No, your mayor is the problem. Your alderman is the problem. These protesters that are paid to continue to keep you in poverty and lower your property value so that they can then take it while you paying extra high taxes, and then they increase the value of the property, and you call it gentrification. You advocate for it because you voted for it. I was never the problem, ever. You know what's so funny? I looked at that video, right? I actually went and looked at both videos at O'Shea Duke Jackson. Shout out to my dog, O'Shea Duke Jackson. I looked at both videos, right? Do you know the only time that black people that don't like other black people come together is if they don't like another black person? I looked at it, and then I looked in the comments, and I realized that a lot of people don't even like O'Shea because he's not here in the United States of America and he traveling the world. The same people that will call him out of his name and then try to say that he's a tether when he's not, and they label him, those same people that were saying stuff about him, all of a sudden they rocking with him because he was coming after me. No, O'Shea didn't go in on me. And I'm cool with O'Shea, and that's my dog in real life. The only time that people come together is when they hate somebody else black. Y'all didn't come together and get them Venezuelans out of y'all neighborhood. Y'all so tough. Y'all got all of the gangs in the world. GDs and BDs and Bloods and Crips and all of these different gangs. And y'all couldn't even get them out of y'all own neighborhood. Don't talk tough to me. They came in and they didn't even know your language, and they was in there not paying rent with size 12 shoes. You had to get the federal government to get them out of your city. Don't come to me and saying nothing about me. I don't want to hear nothing about that. Don't say nothing to me until you can get the Trinidad and Aragua out of your own neighborhoods. I don't want to hear nothing. Nothing from nobody. If this wasn't a Millionaire Morning Show, you know what I'd tell you to suck. You know what I would tell people. Nigga, Trinidad and Aragua is in your hood. What you doing typing to me for? They kids and your kids is playing together. I don't care nothing about what you're talking about. You can't even do nothing. You can't even get out of your own hood. You stuck. You couldn't move if you want to. You can't come to where we are. You can't move. You ain't got a pot to piss in if you want to. Shout out to everybody typing tough on their Obama phone, still holding it down, still getting your food stamps and government aid. I don't care nothing about what you're talking about. Care nothing about it. You got people they running you out of your own neighborhood. You can't even hold on to your mama's house. Your mama got a reverse mortgage on her house, and when she dies, it goes over to the company that she sold it out for so that they can resell it and put you out of there. You ain't got no business talking to me when they running you out of your own house. And then you get the Van Lathans and the Charlemagnes and all of these people, and they keep on talking about some dignity. No. Don't nobody want no dignity. I want freedom. You know what freedom is? To be able to do what you want to do when you want to do it and not be under the duress of other people. Don't care nothing about what you're talking about. You dependent. Your daddy is the government. I want freedom. I want freedom. They in your neighborhood, kicking in doors, waving the fofo. All I heard was, Papa, don't hit me no more. You can't even get them out of y'all own hood. Y'all ain't tough. You asking them. All these community advocates, they right there in your hood, busting out windows. I bust the windows out your car. They busting out windows, having parties, playing their little Venezuela music. And you had to call Trump to get them out of there.